What's good, YouTube? It's Justice. I used to be Pay, and today I'm back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how Lil Baby's back is against the wall. I have been on the internet for the past year and a half now at this point, defending Lil Baby from a lot of the narratives that are being pushed surrounding him. And recently, I saw this tweet which kind of inspired me to make this entire video. The tweet says, "These are the biggest fall-offs in music," and it has Polo G, Da Baby, Roddy Ricch, and Lil Baby. Now, I actually quote tweeted this on my Twitter and said, Lil Baby's last project sold 215K, by the way. But these are the type of narratives that people are pushing about Lil Baby now. Lil Baby is now in these conversations of artists that have fallen off or that people think aren't as good as they used to be or failed in terms of potential. He's now being put in these conversations that are getting millions and millions of interactions and thousands upon thousands of likes. The talk surrounding his music and the criticism that people have has continuously gotten louder and louder and louder, to the point in which the hip hop space's opinion is kind of like, hey bro, your back is kind of against the wall. Like, you got to show us. Overall, Lil Baby's music recently has just felt really bland. It's just felt kind of meh. Like, it's just there. It's not like trash, but you know, it don't got a whole bunch of seasoning. It don't got a whole bunch of pop to it, right? And I don't mean pop in terms of like the genre. And a lot of the people who say this about Lil Baby's music or have complaints about his music say the same thing, and that's Lil Baby makes the same song over and over again. And honestly, if you look at that criticism, it's a criticism that all of those guys in that tweet I just showed you have gotten before. All of those guys have gotten the, oh, they make the same music over and over again criticism. And honestly, that's probably not a coincidence. But when it comes to someone like Lil Baby, he's never really been a guy that's super versatile. People don't listen to Lil Baby because he has so many different sounds and so many different flows. Oh my God, did you hear this album? It sounds nothing like this album. And this song is so crazy. That's never really been his thing. He's not a Kanye that's trying to reinvent his sound every 3 months, or, you know, a Cardi who comes back with a new style every couple of years. That's not really ever been Lil Baby's, game. That's not in his bag. But that was never really a criticism that you heard back in 2020. It wasn't really a criticism that you heard back in 2018. And I think that's mostly just because people don't like the music as much anymore. So now they're allowed to critique it, and now they see the holes in Lil Baby's game. Because I would say that versatility has kind of been a hole in his game his entire career. He's never been a guy that's done a whole bunch of different stuff. And that's not even necessarily a bad thing, but that's just something that you can point to and look at Lil Baby and say, that's not what you're good at. But now, since the stuff that he's typically been good at isn't as good as it used to be, people now say, oh man, you're not versatile. You can't do anything different. You're making the same songs over and over again, but now that same song that you're making over and over again isn't good anymore. And I think respect for the quality of his music has gone down considerably. And I think respect for him as a rapper as a whole has kind of gone down. And I feel like Lil Baby is kind of at the moment in jeopardy of losing that kind of unanimously agreed upon idea that he is a quality rapper. Like the masses aren't all in agreement like they were a couple years ago. Like, man, Lil Baby, he's really a dog. You may not be, a super fan of him, or you may not really have him in your top 5, but you can't deny his skills. That's not really a conversation that's happening anymore. And he's kind of in risk of losing his spot as somebody that we look at in this modern era as like a consistently good rapper, somebody that we can rely upon in terms of like his music's going to be quality. There's a chance that that narrative is kind of gone. And it's kind of funny because over a year ago, I want to say maybe like a year and a half now, it was leading up into Lil Baby's project, It's Only Me. I had a critique about Lil Baby that a lot of people really disagreed upon. But honestly, if I came out and said it now, everyone would probably agree with me, and I'd get like 100,000 likes on a tweet if I posted this. But I said leading up to the album that I feel like Lil Baby in his music has kind of gotten complacent. Like, it doesn't really feel like there's a lot of passion there. His music just feels a little complacent. It feels like he doesn't really have that fire in his belly anymore, like you heard on, older Lil Baby songs or older Lil Baby projects. It just doesn't feel like he's really going at it. Like, it really kind of felt like he was just mailing it in to a certain extent. And people were so mad at me for saying this leading up to It's Only Me. Before it came out, before people, heard the album and weren't that big of a fan of it, they were like, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. Lil Baby's the GOAT, bro. You just chatting. Anybody will get on the internet and say anything. But now, a lot of the people who were mad at me for saying that almost 2 years ago, it's been like a year and a half, would probably have very similar complaints about Lil Baby's music. In my opinion, Lil Baby hasn't really consistently rapped like he has a whole bunch of drive since My Turn. And now that's not me saying that Lil Baby has dropped straight trash since My Turn. That's not what I'm saying at all. He's had plenty of really good songs since that album's came out. But in terms of consistently rapping and me feeling like, man, Lil Baby, he really putting in work, I haven't really had that feeling since My Turn. Again, I'm not saying all the music he's put out since has been trash. That's not the case. He's had plenty of good songs since then. But in terms of consistently me feeling like this music he's been putting out is quality, it hasn't really been there. I just don't really feel that same passion that I felt when I listened to his music back in 2020. And it's pretty much been smooth sailing for Lil Baby in his career since 2018 when he first really blew up into the scene. Like, he hasn't really had a whole bunch of, adversity when it comes to his music and like people critiquing his music. For the most part, since he's got on, everyone's loved Lil Baby. Even people who aren't really fans of like trap music or that specific style or sound, they're like, yeah, I mess with Lil Baby. He's cool. I listen to him now and then. People who are pop fans who aren't really the biggest rap fans, maybe they only listen to Drake, they're still like, nah, we like Lil Baby. Country fan, like, for the most part, he hasn't really faced a lot of adversity in his music career in terms of like the people loving him or the people, agreeing that his music's quality. He hasn't really faced a whole bunch of that until now. So I think it'll be very interesting to see how Lil Baby responds to this. And apparently right now he is working on an album that is coming soon. I don't know. You never really know with rappers, but I think this will be a pretty pivotal project in his career. I think this could be somewhat of a fork in the road to see how the rest of his career plays out. If this project is the same old, and let's just say in quality it's very similar to It's Only Me, we could see Lil Baby go down a path that's kind of similar to Roddy Ricch, in the sense of people just start to write you off. And that becomes very difficult to come back from because people honestly just don't give you a chance after they write you off. Most of the time, once they write you off, they're like, all right, whatever, it's over. That's kind of what's happening to Roddy Ricch. It's what happened to Chance the Rapper. People just write you off. They see one thing that's trash at a very pivotal moment in your career, and they go, yeah, we're done with that guy. We're not even going to give him a second chance. So that could be a very realistic situation. Now, do I think Lil Baby will fall off and his numbers will be like, no, I don't think Lil Baby's in danger of falling off numbers-wise, commercial-wise, and monetarily. But in terms of like the fans' respect and them seeing him as a top rapper, I think it's very possible. Or Baby could come back with a very good project and pretty much remind everyone of who he really is. Because it's not like Lil Baby has always been super mediocre and he just kind of got lucky and ended up being a big star just by happenstance. Lil Baby has throughout his career had serious stretches of quality music, very high quality music. And I'm not just talking about My Turn, all the mixtapes, the albums. The man has been putting in work. All right. Let's not get it twisted. It's not like he tripped and fell and somehow magically was considered one of the top rappers. He has given us quality music. He's pretty much been a superstar his entire career and seen as one of the guys who is going to take rap into the future and change the rap game and hold it on his back, until he's, old and washed up and done. It's time to prove it. It's time to prove it because, again, I don't know what's going on with Lil Baby. I can't speak personally. I don't know anything about the guy. I don't know the guy. So I'm not getting on here telling you, I know for sure that Lil Baby has been slacking and going to the studio once a week. Like, I have no clue. But I'm saying the music doesn't have that same drive that it used to. It don't have that same passion. I know people are just going to say, oh, well, he's rich now. Well, he's been rich probably since 2018. So that music doesn't have that same passion. So whatever's going on with Lil Baby, whatever he's got to do to get it back, he needs to do that. Because I really do believe Lil Baby is extremely talented. Like, if you're asking me, in my opinion, can Lil Baby come back and get everyone's respect back and be seen as the top guy again and one of the best rappers? Of course. 100%. He has everything in his bag in order to do so. But will that happen? I couldn't tell you. And also, it doesn't help that all these narratives are happening around the same time that Gunna has arguably one of the best runs in his career, while him and Lil Baby aren't really getting along. So that also plays a part because they were so tied together. And there's always been a debate, Gunna, Lil Baby, who's better. But now that they're separated and you see one doing better than the other, fans are always going to run and say, oh, well, the other guy was never really that good. He was only good because of Gunna. So that's also not helping Lil Baby because, the timing of all of this really is just kind of unfortunate in terms of public perception. But yeah, I think Lil Baby kind of has his back against the wall. And now is his time to show us who he really is, because, you know, maybe he just got lucky the first couple years of his career. Maybe it was Young Thug and Gunna and everyone else, and it wasn't Lil Baby. Who knows? We don't really know. So I guess we'll find out and see on this next project, because I think this is a very pivotal project for Lil Baby. It really has become one, because a lot of the hip hop space isn't really rocking with him at the moment. I'm not gonna lie. Like, again, people still are gonna listen to his music widespread. He's that big of a rapper now that his music's going to be everywhere. But in terms of the hip hop space's opinion on him, it's kind of in the air right now. So it's Lil Baby's opportunity to take that and be like, oh, y'all must have forgot, and give us a banger. But who knows? Maybe I'm just talking on my butt. I don't know what I'm talking about. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to listen to me. You should, but you don't have to listen to me. But if you made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. Have a good day. Be safe. Be blessed. Make sure you leave some comments down below. Leave some likes. Subscribe. Peace.